And we had a very strong thesis at the beginning of the company. As a LiDAR company, we actually wanted to make a LiDAR for ADAS applications. If you turn your clock back in 2016, you probably remember the big bandwagon over those years of autonomous vehicles is right around the corner. We actually thought very differently back then. We thought ADAS in the near future will be the biggest market for LiDAR, and that's why we focused all of our company effort, whether it's in technology invention or actually commercial development into the ADAS industry. And that's where we are, and a lot of development since then. This is an exciting time for LiDAR industry.
Thank you. Look, talk us a little bit more through the strategic decision to go for the ADAS market. Is the technology any different, or was it purely you think this is a bigger pool to fish in? It's certainly one that's going to be realized in a shorter term, and therefore you went for it that way?
Well, first of all, this Cepton as a company didn't really start with a technology invention and looking for a market application. In fact, our thought process started from observing the LiDAR market and the ADAS market, and realized the ADAS is the biggest total addressable market, with $50 billion possible in 2030. So it would be almost irresponsible if you don't work on ADAS if you are in the LiDAR industry. So once we decided, okay, that's the area we're going to enter, that's very natural, just given the numbers of the market size. Then the inventions start to happen. It's certainly a very different technology path, and we have recognized the requirement for having a successful ADAS LiDAR is having the balance between performance, cost, and reliability. And we call these three big pillars for the design. And if you don't have all of them, you only need to have one pillar fall apart before the whole structure fall apart, and you won't have a product. For example, you can actually make a LiDAR that sees kilometers and performs space station docking and all that, but it costs them maybe a couple $1 million a piece. It will never stay in cars. So having the balance between performance, cost, and reliability is really a huge key factor in Cepton's from design, from invention to the eventual commercial success. And in fact, it is this balanced approach that enabled Cepton us to have the largest LiDAR design win in the LiDAR industry. Actually, it's from one of the top 5 OEMs, which I'm not at liberty to discuss the name, but it is for a everyday car that's coming out in 2023. So a couple years from now, you'll be able to buy a car with an ADAS feature as the centerpiece of the car, and the centerpiece for the ADAS feature is actually LiDAR, and it's going to be Cepton LiDAR. Just remind you, it's not an autonomous vehicle. It is not some demonstration fleet. It's an everyday car that you will be able to buy from a dealership a couple years from now.